Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
The polls continue to show Joe Biden with a commanding lead over President Trump with just over 3 weeks left before Election Day. And now Trump has said he will refuse to participate in the second head-to-head scheduled for this Thursday after the debate commission changed the format to a virtual debate. If the polls are right, this race is already over because no candidate can make up an 8 or 10-point deficit in less than a month, especially when he's trying to do so amid a pandemic, a backdrop of urban unrest and cultural upheaval, a war over the Supreme Court, the president coming down with a virus, and a plot by radical militia to kidnap the governor of Michigan, all in this year like no other. But then these poll results are close to what the pollsters were predicting at the same time in 2016. Joining us to evaluate the latest shockers and the state of the race as we head down the stretch is our old friend, LibertyNation.com's outspoken political columnist, Joe Schaeffer. Joe, welcome back.
Hello, Tim. I'm feeling rather outspoken, so you may have to rein me in today.
No, I'm going to cut you loose because I've been rendered virtually speechless by the succession of events in this damnable year. But the polls, Joe, all tell the same story. Joe Biden with a commanding and growing lead. Do you believe them? And after the VP debate, which you wrote about and described as a slam dunk victory for Mike Pence, and no second debate by Trump's own choice, what does Trump do now?
You know, if I'm a Trump supporter, I'd be more worried if they weren't rolling out this same tired playbook from 2016. We're seeing everything all over again. They're trying to declare the Democrat the winner before people go to the ballot box. They've got a colluding media involved in this. The polls are all on board. You know, it's a sad situation when Democrats are getting paranoid about polls showing Biden so far ahead. When that poll came out that said Biden was up 11 points in Florida, Democrats were all over social media saying, well, this is a conspiracy. They're trying to repress our vote. Turn out, people. Turn out, people. This is not true. This poll is not true. Democrats were saying that about the fix that's in. So that's how out of control this is. If you're a Trump supporter, you want to see this, as crazy as it sounds, because it lets you know, again, that, you know, these people realize what's going on, which really is that they're in serious trouble. Trump dominated the second half of his debate with Joe Biden. The first half, not so good. The second half, he dominated. And Mike Pence completely steamrolled Kamala Harris. The most important takeaway from that was she never laid a glove on him, and she never came close. And she was supposed to be Biden's pit bull, attack dog. And Pence, I just thought he so easily dismissed her, and she was so lacking in substance. The Democrats are in trouble, and the media is going to tell you otherwise. And if you're a Trump supporter out there, don't believe it. 2016 all over again. Do not believe it.
After rolling out perhaps the most effective campaign slogan ever 4 years ago, Make America Great Again, the Trump campaign has struggled to come up with a theme or a slogan for 2020. They've got just over 3 weeks left. What themes should Trump be hammering in particular right now?
I think he was doing just fine before he got his coronavirus diagnosis, which unfortunately for him has kind of slowed down his momentum. He was appealing more to the base. It's something I thought he should have done at the convention. And surprisingly, everybody loved the convention on the Republican side. I thought he should have been tossing more red meat, which he sort of is doing now. But what you have to understand is this is an incumbency president. He's running for re-election here. It's not the insurgency president of 2016. I personally wish it were more like that. But he needs to rally his base. And what is going to rally his base is exactly what we're seeing right now. People saying, you know, oh, Biden's dominating this thing. He's running away in the polls. Trump's in trouble. In 2016, I remember Republican media outlets, a lot of them who were hostile to Trump, saying this thing's over, this is a mess. Gee, I hope some Republicans running for Congress can win. And it was so obvious and transparent that the establishment was worried. And so what we have here is a repeat of that. And all Trump has to do is say, they're trying to steal this from you. Look what they're doing. They're playing the same book. The polls, we're in disarray. We're struggling. We have no message. Don't believe it. Get out there and vote. The people who put him into office in 2016, this feeds right into why they did that. They don't trust the experts. They don't trust the establishment. So all Trump has to say is, look what they're doing. They're trying to steal this from you. And he's going to get that turnout that he needs.
You know, Joe, it occurs to me, the question, has anybody ever had better luck than Joe Biden in 2020? I mean, first, his party cleared the primary field after he failed to go anywhere in the early contests. So they cleared the path to his nomination. Then Trump gets enmeshed in a pandemic, which allows Biden to grandstand and condemn the president from the safety of the sidelines and claim he could do much better, and to remain in his basement, giving him legitimate reason to remain at home, avoiding close scrutiny and trying to freeze the ball and run out the clock, which he is close to being able to do. Has anyone ever had better luck in a campaign than Joe Biden in 2020?
I wouldn't call it luck. I would call it, this was a deliberate plan, a deliberate policy. I think Democrats realized very early in the game in 2019 that they didn't have a strong candidate. They just did not. You looked at those early Democratic primary debates, June 2019, and it was a train wreck. So, I don't understand why Trump's not doing this virtual debate. He'll still be good at it. Yes, it'll be more controlled, but Biden is not going to be that effective anyway. Even talking in front of a teleprompter, he's not dynamic at all. So I don't understand that. But I would still say that this is a mystifying thing that the Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to put a man in the White House without running an effective campaign and to just, basically declare that he's winning and then hope that your untruth is true as you run out the clock.
I wonder if in this unprecedented year where people have seen a succession of events that have rendered Trump in the eyes of many as damaged goods, as they go to the polling places on November 3rd or vote in advance or by mail or whatever, I wonder how much voters have really thought through the alternative, the idea of Joe Biden as the leader of the free world.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a deliberate strategy not to have them think about that. That's another reason why he's always, I'm not Donald Trump, I'm not Donald Trump. Because what is he going to really say? Is he really going to say, hey, I'm bringing back that establishment swamp, neoconservative interventionist foreign policy that's going to make all the military contractors rich again? We're gonna rattle Putin's sabers over Ukraine. We're going to stick our nose into the Middle East. These are things the American people do not want. So yeah, they don't want people to think about that. They want to paint Trump as this gloom and doom villain, which has been done to just unprecedented levels, even more than 2016 when Trump and Hillary were really going at it. I mean, this dystopian nightmare vision of life in Trump's America, it's all meant to disguise that Biden just wants to return the swamp, back into the White House. So they have to keep that hidden, keep hitting Trump, and try to sneak this guy into the White House when he stands for things that the American people just don't want. I don't see how you're going to turn out undecided voters that way. And I don't see how you're going to turn out the more and more progressive Democratic voters that he needs. Keep saying that you're against fracking now and turn off all those Bernie Sanders supporters that believe, climate change is this existential threat. So he's not convincing the undecideds and he's alienating the Democratic base. How is that a recipe for winning? How is I just don't see it.
Let me close with putting you on the spot. Who's going to win? Who's going to win the election?
Based on some unforeseen thing. There's going to be all kinds of crazy revelations coming out in the next 3 weeks. Something really changing the ball. I think this election's over. I've long thought this election is over. Trump has strong supporters. Yet, yes, there are a lot of Americans, millions of Americans who want to go out and vote against this man. But he has not lost those tens of millions of supporters who put him in the White House in 2016. Conversely, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have not given anybody who is not already filled with loathing for Donald Trump a reason to vote for them. So to me, this is going to be an electoral college blowout. The only chance Joe Biden has is if he keeps it close in certain key states like Florida and Texas, and the mail-in voting just changes things, which will bring up the specter of electoral fraud and will just be a may cause civil war in this country. So, they said a Biden blowout is the only way we'll have peace. That's not happening. There's not going to be a Biden blowout. So I see Trump winning this thing comfortably. If it's close, the mail-in voters may help Biden, but it's not going to happen. I think Trump wins this thing going away.
Well, I think a full-on civil war is about the only thing we have yet to witness in this bizarre year like no other. Joe Schaeffer, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Extra, read all about it.
Election 2020 Big Bottom Flash Reports are coming. On election night, at the bottom of every hour, LibertyNation.com will give you Election Night 2020, 90 seconds at a time, with our Big Bottom Flash Reports. You'll get the drop with our one-stop shop. Tune into LibertyNation.com on election night for our Big Bottom Flash Reports at the bottom of every hour. LibertyNation.com.